and welcome Study Abroaders. You're listening to Country's Customs. This is Tessa, Mia,
and Addison.
Today's episode is about Russia. As we inform you about the culture, just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
To start off, I'm going to start with what families typically look like in Russia. Russian families tend to start much earlier than the rest of the world. Research from 8 years ago today shows Russians get married from 18 to 24 years old. In the rest of the world, the average marriage is at 24.7 years old. As well as that, Russian families have children at much earlier ages than the Western countries. Typically, an average Russian family consists of 1 to 2 children, which is about the average of the rest of the world. The only difference between American and Russian families, that is, Russian families start a little earlier.
Now moving on to the laws in Russia. Always have a passport, no pictures in military, you can get detained and arrested. Also, no drugs. There are no rights to protect LGBTQ in Russia. Also, there is in LGBTQ plus affection is not permitted. It can attract negative attention. Here are greetings in Russia. When greeting someone, kiss on both cheeks. If for the first time, then handshake or nod. There are multiple sayings for different people you are meeting. There is one for friends, family, bosses, and people that you haven't met.
Now moving on to the government section. On paper, it is a federal democratic state, but in reality, it is more of a controlling dictatorship. Their president is Vladimir Putin. He has made more rules and restrictions for the country since he was elected in 2012. Freedom is tight now, but there is a constitution of Russia which limits the president to only so much power. This gives the citizens agency and more protection so that the president can't control the whole country.
Next up, we have religion in Russia. In the Constitution of the Russian Federation, there's a principle that guarantees the freedom of religion. The main religion that is practiced in Russia is Orthodox Christianity. This religion is practiced by going to church every Sunday, praying to God, and making sure everything you do is for God. Orthodox Christianity is a very peaceful and respectful religion. The side religions consist of Catholicism, Protestantism, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Shamanism, and a few other smaller religions. Have you ever heard of pelmeni? It's the most nutritious cultural food with tons of protein and veggies. Stop by your local cafe and take a bite. It's very cheap for purchase and should definitely be at the top of your list for foods to eat. Try some today.
Like everyone else, Russia has its holidays. Similar to the U.S., they have Labor Day and Easter. Uniquely to them, they celebrate the Russian New Year, which takes place before they celebrate Christmas, believe it or not. Instead of celebrating in December, Russians celebrate the Eastern Orthodox Christmas on January 7th. This is because they follow the Julian calendar, which is 13 days behind the one in the U.S. Some other cool holidays are Defender of the Fatherland Day on February 23rd, Russia Day on June 14th, and Unity Day on November 4th.
The next thing that I'll be going over is the language in Russia. In Russia, there are 35 official languages spoken. That's a lot. Out of those 35, the main language spoken is Russian. According to my research, 81% of the population in Russia just speaks Russian. Russian has the same tenses as Greek and Hebrew languages. As Americans may describe it, every word spoken is very crisp and seems kind of aggressive. Besides Russian, the top 5 languages spoken in the country are English, German, French, Turkish, and Ukrainian. American is kind of the same way, where mostly everyone speaks just one language. There are a lot of other cultures within the country. Next up, we have Americans' favorite subject, food. Russia has very unique dishes and are extremely appetizing. Russians eat 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast normally takes place at 7 to 8 a.m. Lunch is normally around 1 to 2 p.m. and dinner at 7 to 8 p.m. Their national meal is a beautiful dish of pelmeni, pastry dumplings filled with minced meat, topped with butter and sour cream. This is followed up by tea with sugar or jam. How delightful does that sound? Russia's hot dishes consist of potatoes, all kinds of meat, or fish. In America, we can relate to these hot dishes. Russians have exquisite, very high-quality food when it comes to holidays or special occasions. A typical special occasion meal is black and red caviar with a creamy butter, green salad, and bread. Bread is very important to include on New Year's. Moving on to the next topic.
Now moving on to the common customs. Russia celebrates pagan holidays. They still believe in legends and omens. Also still follow old traditions too. Making the okay symbol is considered rude, rude gesture. And if you're still hungry, you still have to finish the food on your plate. They also dress up nicely to impress. Damn, I wonder who they're gonna impress. Be ready when they are very superstitious.
And lastly, some cool additional cultural norms are to not wear your shoes inside. Also, don't whistle indoors. I always thought that was an interesting one. And don't shake someone's hand with gloves on. If you ever want to travel there, remember these things. Avoid cut-off jeans and tank tops. Don't sit by the corner of the table, and don't smile all the time. Oh, and don't forget to take part in toasts.
Hope you enjoy this episode about Russia. See you next time on Country Customs.